Good afternoon. My name is Dan Scripps, Chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission. I call this meeting of the Commission to order on March 3rd, 2022 at 1:33 p.m. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chair Scripps.
Present.
Commissioner Phillips.
Present.
Commissioner Paratic.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary, and thanks everybody for your patience. We had a few technical issues and maybe even a bird in the rafters or just outside, so a couple minutes late this afternoon. Today's meeting is being held in person at the Commission's office at 7109 West Saginaw Highway, Lansing, Michigan. We are also hosting this meeting remotely using Microsoft Live Event. It is compatible with all browsers except Safari. Telephone relay service is available through the phone option. If you are participating via the live stream, you may also turn on the live captions by clicking on the closed caption or CC button in the lower right corner of the screen. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose the remote connection, the Commission will not recess and will continue in person. The meeting will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. In addition, the Commissioners can receive comment via mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. For reference, this email is also included in the Q&A feature on the live stream event on your computer and in the meeting notice. We will have an opportunity for the public to make comment as provided for in the agenda. A few notes about this. Comments should be limited to one per person and can be made verbally in person or by calling in or in writing via the live stream Q&A feature. If you are participating via Teams application, you can use the Q&A feature and type your comments in the box anytime during our meeting, and we will have those queued up to read. The Q&A function should be used to submit public comments directed to the Commission. If you would like to make verbal comments, you must do so either in person or by calling into the meeting by phone. And to minimize disruptions, attendees participating by phone will be muted until we reach the time for public comment. The first order of business is approval of the agenda for today's meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the agenda for today's Commission meeting.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve today's agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The agenda is approved. The next item of business on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the February 10, 2022 Commission meeting.
I move for the approval of the minutes from the February 10th, 2022 Commission meeting.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the February 10, 2022 Commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries by unanimous vote. The Commission meeting minutes of February 10, 2022 are approved. The next item of business on the agenda is the approval of orders and minute actions on the consent agenda, and today the Commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Alyssa Day. I recognize Ms. Day.
Good afternoon. Today's consent agenda consists of 6 communications matters and 2 electric matters. The proposed orders and minute actions for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Day. I move for the approval of the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The orders and minute actions on the consent agenda are approved. I recognize Ms. Day.
Item 4A1 is case number U21078, which involves the proposed readoption of rules for the provision of unbundled network elements and local interconnection services. The order before you formally readopts the rules as modified.
Thank you. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21078.
I second the motion.
Before we vote on this, I want to express my gratitude to staff, both for this and the next agenda item, which is also a readoption of rules. A lot of work goes into these, which need to be readopted every couple of years, and also appreciation for Rika Holly-Velker and the legislative team for tracking sort of the compliance with the 15-day rules, which I believe we had 15 joint session days as of yesterday. So we're ready to adopt these, but appreciate the efforts of all involved. Any additional discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21078 is approved. I recognize Ms. Day.
Item 4A2 is case number U21079, which involves the proposed repromulgation of rules for the provision of basic local exchange service customer migration. The order before you formally adopts the rules.
Thank you, Ms. Day. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21079.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21079 is approved. Ms. Day.
Item 4A3 is case number U21149, which involves an application as amended filed by Fusion Cloud Services LLC for a temporary and permanent license to provide basic local exchange service throughout the state of Michigan in all zone and exchange areas served by AT&T Michigan, Frontier North Inc., Frontier Mid-States Inc., and Frontier Communications of Michigan Inc. The order before you grants the permanent license.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21149.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21149 is approved. I recognize Ms. Day.
Item 4B1 is case number 20837, which involves an application filed by DTE Electric Company for review and approval of a revised advanced metering infrastructure opt-out program. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20837.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20837 is approved. I recognize Ms. Day.
Item 4B2 is case number U21117, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion, commencing a collaborative addressing the development of electric utility interconnection procedures. The order before you cancels the March 15th, 2022 stakeholder meeting and schedules meetings for April 14th and May 17th, 2022.
I believe the bird is getting more active as we go along. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21117.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21117 is approved. Ms. Day.
Item 4B3 is case numbers U21122 et al., which involve a review of the responses of Michigan utility companies to the August 2021 storms in Michigan, including utility filed reports and additional comments. Staff member Nick Evans will describe this order.
Good afternoon. Beginning on August 10th, 2021, a series of severe thunderstorms hit Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas. Wind gusts reached over 70 miles per hour, causing widespread destruction to trees and utility poles. As a result, almost 1 million Michigan utility customers lost electric service. An estimated 372,000 customers of Consumers Energy, 500,000 customers of DTE Electric, and 20,000 customers of Indiana Michigan Power Company lost electric power to their homes and businesses for varying lengths of time. In addition, more than 72,000 customers of Great Lakes Energy Cooperative lost power, as well as about 30,000 customers spread over 5 other electric cooperatives. Reports indicate that Consumers had 8,000 down wire calls, DTE had approximately 3,100, and I&M had approximately 340. Outage lasted anywhere from a few hours to more than a week. On August 20th, Governor Gretchen Whitmer issued a letter to the Commission calling on the Commission to, 1, prevent recovery of outage credit costs and other relief efforts in upcoming utility rate cases. 2, expedite the promulgation of updated technical standards for electricity service and utility service quality rules as much as possible. 3, consider requiring utilities to increase emergency preparedness planning around extreme weather, to add reporting requirements that add transparency around their efforts to improve system reliability, and to carefully review the recently filed utility distribution plans to gauge whether the proposed actions and investments are sufficient. And 4, convene a technical conference on emergency preparedness, planning, and storm response. On August 25th, 2021, the Commission issued an order directing investor-owned utilities regulated by the Commission to file a report and soliciting written comments from utilities and other stakeholders. The reports needed to include the following information. 1, a summary of the utility's ongoing vegetation management and grid hardening efforts. 2, details on how current efforts have contributed to reliability performance. 3, a ranked breakdown of the top 10% worst performing circuits in the year 2021 to date in terms of frequency of outages, and the top 10% worst performing circuits year to date in terms of duration of outages, and to provide a map showing where those circuits are located within the service territory. 4, using data from the beginning of 2020 to the present, a map of the top 10 zip codes with both the highest and lowest SAFE and the top 10 zip codes where most future tree trimming and other reliability and resiliency improvement efforts are planned. 5, a summary of efforts contained in currently filed distribution plans to address outages and system reliability. 6, plans and or actions taken following the August 2021 storms addressing outage credits. 7, a summary of restoration efforts during the August 2021 storms. The Commission also directed the investor-owned utilities to include the following in the reports. 1, a breakdown of the total cost to move a typical overhead backlot constructed line and overhead front lot constructed line to underground. 2, the difference in cost of maintenance of an overhead backlot, overhead front lot, and underground electric line. 3, the average measured reliability of an underground line compared to a comparable backlot and front lot overhead electrical line. And 4, a comparison of the average rate and severity of safety incidents that occur both to the public as well as to utility workers associated with underground lines, overhead front lot lines, and overhead backlot lines. The Commission also requested comment from utilities and other stakeholders on whether the planning processes used to identify investments and upgrades is sufficiently robust to plan for a future that may look very different from what has been historically experienced. The Commission announced in the August 25th order that it would be hosting a one-day technical conference on emergency preparedness, distribution reliability, and storm response to be held in person on October 22nd. The conference was converted to a virtual event and expanded to 2 days in a subsequent order. On October 22nd, the Commission convened Day 1 of the technical conference. Day 1 covered topics ranging from power outage data and reliability in Michigan to the future of electric reliability and resilience. On November 5th, Day 2 of the technical conference was held and included topics such as whether Michigan is meeting existing standards, modeling the future grid, performance-based regulation, and addressing reliability and storm response. On October 1st, consumers, DTE Electric, and I&M filed their 2021 storm reports. On October 29th, Upper Peninsula Power Company filed its report, and on November 1st, Alpena, Northern States Power Company, and Upper Michigan Energy Resources Corporation each filed their report. The individual reports are addressed in the order. The Commission received numerous individual comments from ratepayers and interested persons. Many of the concerns noted in these comments include the frequency of power outages and concerns about the duration of outages, including costs incurred by ratepayers from loss of food, medications, and lodging. Several commenters also note that despite rate increases and having some of the highest rates in the United States, outages are still common occurrences. Local officials filed similar comments, passing along the concerns of their constituents, as well as listing various concerns pertaining to tree trimming and the inaccuracy of information shared by utilities. Numerous individuals also recommended the implementation of programs to target health and safety issues, as well as energy waste reduction resources. Specifically, commenters indicate that such resources should be directed to communities in most need and with the highest energy burdens. Several commenters also suggested topics or panel topics pertaining to the technical conference. Additional comments are summarized in the order. On August 20th, 2020, the Commission issued an order in case number U20633, directing the staff to hold a series of stakeholder sessions to research best practices in several areas, including identifying potential revisions to the Commission-approved Integrated Resource Plan modeling parameters or the filing requirements to better accommodate transmission alternatives in IRPs in preparation for the next formal review of the Michigan IRP planning parameters expected to take place in 2022. The second of 5 planned stakeholder meetings commenced on January 31st, 2022, and included a discussion on climate change. The Commission finds that the appropriate venue for continued discussion on planning for climate change is the ongoing stakeholder proceedings. Therefore, the Commission directs the staff to consider pertinent comments and presentations as filed in case number 21122 as part of the ongoing stakeholder proceedings in the My Power Grid initiative in case number U20633. The Commission also finds that it would be beneficial to have a dedicated resource to address the topics of distribution reliability, outages, and storm response. The Commission directs the staff to develop a web page within the Commission's existing website, which is dedicated to distribution reliability, outages, and storm response. The Commission also directs the staff to work with the utilities, including holding meetings, to develop a reporting template for the filing of additional information pertaining to distribution reliability, outages, and storm response. The reporting template shall be finalized and filed in case number U21122. The information to be included in the template with respect to distribution reliability will include annual reliability performance as reported in case numbers U12270, U16065, and U16066, reliability metrics that have been proposed in utility distribution plans in case number U20147, as well as other data or metrics from jurisdictions such as Minnesota or others that are collecting and or incentivizing distribution reliability performance. The template should also include various other data as described in the order. The Commission recognizes the MPSC staff's request for an extension of time to file comments in response to the August 25th order relating to the final distribution plan filed by consumers, the draft distribution plans filed by DTE Electric and I&M, and the 6 related questions posed by the Commission. The Commission concludes that the staff's request is reasonable and extends the deadline for comments to be filed in case number U20147. The Commission will accept additional comments from all interested persons until this extended deadline. Any person may submit written comments in response to the distribution plans and questions posed in the August 25th order. The comments must reference case number U20147 and should be received no later than 5:00 p.m. on May 27, 2022. Furthermore, the Commission shall address the filed distribution plans, comments, and related issues such as performance-based regulation after the expiration of the extended comment period. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Evans, for that excellent summary. I move for the approval of the order in case numbers U-21122 et al.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
I have just very brief comments to make. I wanted to, of course, thank our staff, commenters in this docket, experts from our state's utilities and from organizations really across the country, as well as the Attorney General's office and the Governor's office for all of your respective roles in getting us to this initial set of critical next steps and actions as it pertains to emergency preparedness and severe weather response. I want to emphasize that this is our initial set of actions and next steps in response to the severe weather events of last year, but with daylight savings time around the corner, for us with kids, it's a kind of a regretful time, but that's always a reminder for me that the next severe weather season is really weeks away. So we must and are committed to continuing to be responsive and adaptable to the changing threats of severe weather enhanced by climate change, while also continuing to keep energy reliability, customer and worker safety, affordability, and data transparency at the center of this ongoing discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Peredick?
Thanks. Yeah, I would also like to echo a lot of Commissioner Phillips' thoughts, and particularly his thanks to all the parties who submitted data and comments as a part of this process. It really is important that we understand the status of reliability in our state to help us best plan for and respond to the increased severity of storms and other results of the changing climate. Understanding our current situation is the starting point to work from to improve for the future. We appreciate all the ideas and the recommendations that were sent in, as well as the data, and we've carefully reviewed all the submissions and are continuing to work to develop a full strategy. And as Commissioner Phillips noted, today's order is only a first step to gathering more regular and standardized data on reliability and how it impacts our communities, and making that data accessible to anyone interested on a public-facing website hosted by the Commission. We look forward to continuing to work on this process with the utilities, staff, stakeholders, and everyone involved.
Thank you, Commissioner Peredick. As we used to say in caucus meetings in the legislature, everything has been said, but not everyone said it. I don't have much to add, but I would just echo the comments made by my colleagues, and also to recognize their leadership, Commissioner Phillips and Commissioner Peredick, in responding and planning for the the technical conferences and really continuing to guide and inform and lead our efforts to make sure that our energy system can keep track with the changes taking place and that the experience of customers is improved as we move forward. So thank you to you both. Thank you. We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case numbers U-21122 et al. Is approved. I recognize Ms. Day.
Item 4B4 is case number U-21193, which involves an ex parte waiver request by DTE Electric Company relative to its upcoming Integrated Resource Plan filing. The order before you provides for interested persons to file comments on the requested waivers by March 24th, 2022.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21193.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21193 is approved. Ms. Day?
Item 4C1 is case number U-21162, which involves an application filed by DTE Gas Company for approval of a certificate of public convenience and necessity pursuant to Public Act 69 of 1929 as amended. The order before you vacates the Commission's February 10th, 2022 order in this matter.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21162.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21162 is approved. I recognize Ms. Day.
Item 4C2 is case number U-21179, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company for ex parte approval of a certificate of public convenience and necessity pursuant to Public Act 9 of 1929 as amended to construct and operate a proposed natural gas pipeline to replace and reroute the current Line 100B natural gas pipeline through Sleepy Hollow State Park in Clinton County, Michigan. The order before you approves issuing the certificate of public convenience and necessity and makes the required agency findings regarding the pipeline's environmental impact.
Thank you, Ms. Day. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21179.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21179 is approved. I recognize Ms. Day.
Item 4C3 is case number U-21187, which involves an application filed by Marysville Hydrocarbons LLC for ex parte approval of a certificate of public convenience and necessity pursuant to Public Act 16 of 1929 as amended to construct and operate a pipeline for the transportation of propane known as the Ambassador Extension in St. Clair County, Michigan. The order before you approves issuing the certificate of public convenience and necessity and makes the required agency findings regarding the pipeline's environmental impact.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21187.
I second the motion.
Before we vote on this, I just want to highlight, and I'm speaking both to the order in front of us in 4C3 and the next on the agenda in 4C4, both of which involve approvals of relatively small pipeline segments that ultimately will connect the Marysville propane storage facility to the Ambassador pipeline. The approval of these orders will increase the resilience and supply options for central and northern Michigan, allowing the Marysville pipeline to connect, or the Ambassador pipeline, excuse me, to connect with the Marysville storage facility and bring it up to a new terminal in between Gratiot and Saginaw counties and ultimately to the final terminal in Kalkaska County. This is part of an ongoing effort to enhance Michigan's propane security and continues to be a priority for the Commission. I'm pleased to have these orders in front of us today. Is there any additional discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21187 is approved. Recognize Ms. Day.
Item 4C4 is case number U-21190, which involves an application filed by NGL Supply Terminal Company, LLC, requesting ex parte authority to construct and operate a pump station and a pipeline for the transportation of propane in St. Clair Township, St. Clair County, Michigan, pursuant to Act 16 of 1929 as amended. The order before you approves the application as amended and makes the required agency findings regarding the environmental impact.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21190.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21190 is approved. We've now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. As mentioned in the notice for today's meeting, we will take public comments in the following order. First, individuals attending in person. Next, written comments from individuals using the Microsoft Teams live stream Q&A. Then verbal comments from individuals submitting names in the Q&A feature and who have called into the meeting. And finally, from individuals participating only through the phone option. If anyone attending in person desires to address the Commission today, please come up to the microphone. Okay, we will now turn to public comments through the remote options. Again, if you would like to make a comment and have access to the Teams live stream Q&A feature on your computer, please enter your name and your comment, which will then be read aloud. This feature is available to the right, on the right-hand side of the control bar next to the mute button. As a reminder, the Q&A feature is intended for public comments directed to the Commission and not to engage with other participants or respond to their comments. After taking any comments through this feature, we will open up the phone line for those who called into the meeting and would like to address the Commission verbally. If you want to be queued up for verbal comments, please enter your name in the live stream Q&A feature and indicate that you wish to make a verbal comment, but please do not include your written comment as this will avoid duplication. I will first call on these names in the order received. After hearing from those individuals listed in the Q&A, we will ask if there are any comments from individuals who are on the phone line but not utilizing the online Q&A feature. Please note that you can only make verbal comments by calling into the meeting. When it is your turn to speak, press *6 on your phone to unmute. As a reminder, this public comment period is for commissioners to listen to comments and concerns and not to answer specific questions. When providing comment, please indicate your name and where you live if you are willing to share so that we have that for our records. And please limit comments to one per person and keep them brief, no longer than 3 minutes. Ms. Cole, I believe that you are again helping with this part of the agenda. Do we have any comments that have been entered through the live stream Q&A feature?
Not at this time.
Okay. Do we have any folks who have indicated through the live stream Q&A feature that they would like to make verbal comment?
We do not.
Okay. We'll now go to those who are participating only through the phone option. If there's anybody on the phone who would like to make public comment at this point, I invite you to do so. And again, as a reminder, press *6 on your phone to unmute. Even the bird's quiet. We'll ask one more time. I know sometimes the mute functions are difficult. Anybody who wants to make a public comment at this point is invited to do so. Press *6 to unmute. Okay. Well, a couple of announcements before we, and there's the bird, before we conclude today. First, we issued a couple of annual reports to the Legislature since our last meeting. On February 15th, we submitted to the Legislature both the annual energy waste reduction annual report and the annual renewable energy annual report. And good news in both, just to highlight a few things, the energy waste reduction programs continue to save the state and customers in all sorts of ways, including almost 1.6 million megawatt hours of electricity and more than 6 million thousand cubic feet, or MCF, of natural gas in 2020. For each dollar that was invested in the EWR programs in 2020, customers will realize savings of $3.20, making energy waste reduction, again, the cheapest energy resource that we have. On the renewable energy side, we continue to see growth in the renewable energy sector in Michigan, particularly in utility-scale wind turbines, which account for 77% of the approximately 4,200 megawatts of renewable energy capacity in 2021. Other facilities are hydroelectric facilities for 9%, biomass facilities at 7%, solar installations at 4%, landfill gas at 3%, and municipal solid waste at 1% of our renewable energy portfolio. The report also found that since Public Act 295's passage in 2008, more than $5.1 billion has been invested in Michigan to bring about nearly 3 gigawatts of new renewable energy projects that are online through the end of 2021. And again, we have a requirement that all electric providers would need to achieve 15% of their energy or electricity from renewable resources by the end of 2021. All electricity providers subject to the standards met the goals and are on track to meet the target that's also enshrined in statute of obtaining 35% of their energy needs from a combination of renewable energy and energy waste reduction. So good news all around. And then I also just want to highlight that March is Women's History Month. This is something that we actively celebrate at the Commission. I appreciate Commissioner Peretick for your message to all staff on March 1st. And just to highlight a couple of statistics in that regard, of the 8 division directors in the Commission, fully 50% are women. And at the managerial level, it's even higher. Of the 21 section managers, more than 50%, 11 of the 21 are women. We are lucky to have your service, as we have been to have former Chair Sally Tallberg and current State Treasurer Rachel Eubanks and a host of others, and then the folks really from every corner of the Commission who lead in ways large and small. There's a lot to celebrate as we enter Women's History Month, and I'm pleased and honored to serve with so many outstanding women. Any announcements from either of you?
I don't. Very well said, Chair. Thank you.
Thanks. I just wanted to note that I was very excited for my first commission meeting ever with no mask on in person, but unfortunately came down with a cold. So I'm still masked up just to keep everybody else from getting sick around me. So.
And we appreciate that.
You're welcome. I guess I just have to continue looking forward to St. Patrick's Day meeting.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that concludes today's meeting. The next regular commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday, March 17th, 2022, at 1:00 p.m., I believe. Is there a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Phillips?
I motion to adjourn today's commission meeting.
I second the motion.
And my favorite vote. We will now have a vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, of course.